So this is week 2, and we're going to go over the material for week 2, which is graph and equation of line. So the relationship between graphs and equation of line. We're going to talk about points, coordinates of points, slope, line, distance between points, X intercept, Y intercept, all of these relationship between graphs and equations. So first you're going to start with rectangular coordinate system. So rectangular coordinate system, probably most of you are familiar with this. We have x-axis, so look at the graph at number 3. You have the x-axis here, then you have the y-axis. So these are two perpendicular lines which cross at this point here. It's called origin. The point E, it's called origin. So the x-axis, it's a horizontal line. So this is horizontal. And this is vertical. So they're perpendicular to each other. They cross at this point here, which is called origin. Now, these two lines give you like a base where you represent each point with coordinates, rectangular coordinate system. And the coordinates for any points always, so any point here, they asked me to find the coordinates of point G. So any point has coordinates x, comma, y. So you always write it like a pair, number for x, number for y. And I'll show you how to find that. So the x-axis and the y-axis divide the plane to 4 quadrants. So we have this here, everything in this area here, it's first quadrant. All the area here is second quadrant. Then this area down here is the third quadrant, and then the fourth quadrant. So these are the 4 pieces. The x and the y-axis divide the coordinate system. Make sense? So I have 4 quadrants. So this is the first, the second, this is the third one here, and this is the fourth one. Okay? So we have 4 quadrants. And then the coordinates of point, this is how you get the coordinates of point. So let's say I want to get the coordinates. I'm going to delete this a little bit. Everybody understand the quadrants?
Yep.
Yep, okay. I'm going to delete this so you can kind of see the points. Now, the origin is the point here, right? This one. Okay? So the point here, wherever they cross, that's the origin. So now, let's find the coordinates of point G. We need to find the point G right here. Now, how you find the coordinates? So from G, first you're going to go to the x-axis and see what is the number there, -5. And then you're going to go to the y-axis, and the number is also -5. So x is -5, y is -5. So the point G has coordinates -5 and -5. That's it. Okay, let's do another one. Let's find the coordinates of point A. What are the coordinates of point A? So from A, you're going to go to the x. What is that number? 2. And then you're going to go to the y, and the number is 3. So you're going to write x first. Always x is first. 2, 3. Everybody understand that? So give me the coordinates of point B now. What are the coordinates of point B? Somebody?
-4 and 4.
Negative what?
3.
-3. That's
-3
right.
and
And what
5.
else?
5.
And 5. Good job. Okay, everybody understand that? So that's how you find the coordinates of the points. So now let me ask you, which quadrant is point A? Let's write that. Which quadrant is point A?
Quadrant 1.
Quadrant 1, that's right. Which quadrant is point B?
2.
2. Which quadrant is point G?
3.
3. That's right. Okay? Everybody understand how to do this?
So far.
So far. Okay. Now let's answer number 1. Number 1 is asking the coordinates axis intersect at where? The answers are quadrant, x-axis, y-axis, origin, intercept. So the x-axis and the y-axis, because the coordinate axes, both of those, intercept where?
At the origin.
At the origin, that's right. That's your answer. The point where the intercept is called origin. Do you know what intercept means? Intercept means where they cross. Okay? So the answer is origin. Also, what else you can do here? Hold on. Charge. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with, actually, let me ask you one more thing. Looking at the coordinates, can you give me the coordinates of point E? So let's see the origin. In this case is the point E. What are
0,
the
0.
0, 0. That's what I want to write here. 0, 0 are the coordinates of the origin, right? Now, if I pick, let me have the coordinates of point F also. F, you see F?
Hmm?
What are the coordinates of point F here?
-4 and 0.
Yes. With this point here, X is -4 and Y is 0 because you don't go up and down. Now, any point on the, see the point F is on the X-axis, right? So in this case, if they ask you which quadrant is the point F, the point F is not in the quadrant, it's on the axis, in the X-axis, yes? Got it? So the point F is on the X-axis, and always remember this, we're going to use this a little bit later. Any point on the X-axis has the Y coordinate always 0. So the second number is going to be always 0. So any point on the X-axis is going to have coordinates number, comma, 0. This is always going to be 0. Got it? Yes?
So far.
Okay. So let's continue with the equation of line. We have equation of line here. So what is equation of line? So if you connect 2 points, you're going to get a straight line, right? And the equation of line has 2 different forms. I'm going to show in the formula sheet. So equation of line is right here. It's the equation of line. And this is all the information about the equation of line. One equation is called slope-intercept form. Looks like y equals mx plus b. That's the equation. And another equation is standard form, which is number x plus number y equals number. So these are 2 different forms. So these 2 forms represent the same equation, just in different form. So if I have y by itself, it's going to be slope-intercept. If x and y in the same side of the equation, it's going to be standard form. And you can go from one form to another. It's really easy to go from one equation to another. Also, if you have a horizontal line, which is like this, horizontal, equation is y equals number. And if you have a vertical line, which is like this, vertical, the equation is x equals number. So horizontal line and vertical line, they have kind of 2 specific equations, which have only x and only y. Everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So now, looking at my number 2, let's do number 2 here first, so we don't skip that. The graph of the equation x equals a, it's what kind of line? So the answer is the diagonal, parallel, perpendicular.
Vertical.
vertical line. Good job. Okay, do you know what parallel and perpendicular means? Parallel, they never cross each other. Perpendicular is like X and Y perpendicular, 90-degree angle, okay? Horizontal and vertical. And diagonal, you use diagonal, the term diagonal in the, for example, in square, when you connect two opposite sides, that's diagonal, okay? Two opposite angles, sorry. Two opposite angles give you diagonal in a rectangular or square, okay? So now, the answer here is vertical, okay? Because that's what it says in the formula sheet. X equals A, it's a vertical line, right? So most of the questions, many of the questions you're going to be asked, you're going to be in here in this formula sheet. So the answer is going to be right here, okay? So now, we did number 3. Let's continue with number 4 and 5. So equation 4 and 5, they give me equation of line, and you have to, which form is that? Let's look at number 4. X minus 4y equals 19. Is it slope intercept or standard form? You have X minus 4y equals 19.
So standard form?
Standard form, yes. So the equation is in standard form. They want us to solve to get y by itself. So if I have y by itself, it's going to be slope intercept form, right? And we're going to talk about what is slope, what is y intercept in a minute. So if I have equations, so the first one is standard form. And they want us to get slope intercept form. So here they're gonna show, we're gonna see how from standard you can get slope intercept form, how you can change the form. So how are you gonna do that? Pretty much we solved equation last week, right? So we have this equation, and I'm gonna rewrite it x minus 4y equals 19. And we wanna get y by itself, right? So what you're doing to get y by itself, you're gonna move everything else over. The way you're solving for x, you're going to solve for y. So the same idea like linear equation last week. You want to get y by itself, so I need to subtract x in both sides to move it over. So x minus x is 0. So we have negative 4y equals, I'm going to copy 19 minus x because they're not like terms. You can combine number and x, right? So we have negative 4y equals 19 minus x. So what you need to do to get y by itself, between negative 4 and y, you have multiplication. So what is the operation you're going to do? You're going to divide, right? Divide by negative 4. Because negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1y. That's what you want to get, 1y. Okay? So when you divide by negative 4, you have to divide both sides by negative 4. So you can just put it like this, negative 4. You can divide both of those, negative 4, negative 4. And then this cancels, so you're going to get y equals. What is y equals? Y equals what?
Negative 19 over 4 minus
Yeah.
negative 4x.
Okay, now we have minus, yes, but minus and minus is going to be plus x over 4. And this is my answer. Everybody understand that? Yes? Why is like that? Because negative 19 over 4, and then negative and negative. When you have two negatives, that become positive. Okay?
All right.
Any questions here? We're going to put negative 19 over 4 plus x over 4. Okay? And we're gonna graph this in a minute. I'll show you how to graph it in WebAssign actually, because we're gonna graph it in WebAssign. Now let's do the next one more time. So let's do this. So we have the same idea. So we're gonna solve again. So the equation is 10x minus 5y equals 26. So we're gonna graph it. We're gonna solve it for y again. So we want to get y by itself. So what are the steps? You're gonna do the same steps here. So you're gonna start with, I'm gonna write it 10x minus 5y equals 26. So what is the first step? You wanna get this by itself, right? So what is the first step?
You divide both sides by 5.
Yeah,
Negative
that's
5.
the last step. That's the last step. First, you have to move the x over.
Right.
So what you doing to move the 10x over?
You're gonna subtract the 10x?
Yes, you're gonna subtract 10x first, yes. We're gonna subtract 10x first. These cancel. So we have, let me move it so I can see the steps of that. See, first step, so always the first step when you get y by itself, the first step is move the x over first. See, that's what you do here. The first step, let me write it here. The first step is move the x over, and then the second step is divide by the number in front of y. Okay? So the same way here. First step, move the x over. Gonna write it down. What is left? Negative 5y equals, and you're gonna copy this. You can just put x first or 26 first, doesn't matter. Okay, so that's the first step. And then the second step is gonna be divide by the number in front of y. So divide by negative 5, negative 5, and negative 5. So that gives me 1y equals. Now 26 and 5 you can reduce, so you're gonna write it like this, negative 26 over 5. And again, negative and negative is gonna be plus. Now 10 over 5, what is 10 divided by 5?
2.
2x. Okay? And this is what you're gonna put in the answer box. Okay? You can put it like this, or you can put 2x first, because if you look at the equation here, technically the swap intercept form, x is in front, right? And then number by itself. Technically doesn't matter, but you can put it like that if you want. So my answer here is gonna be, WebAssign is gonna say it's right, both of those, but I'm just gonna switch it right now. Minus 26 over 5, like that. Okay? Any questions how we get the swap intercept form from standard to get swap intercept form? Any questions on this?
Nope.
I have a question.
Yes?
So when you move x over, you have to change the plus to become negative.
Yes, you have to change the sign, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, so when you move it from side to side, you have to do opposite. When you add or subtract, you have, like if it's minus, you're gonna do plus. If it's plus, you're gonna do minus. So you switch the sign to move it over. Now, when you divide by the same number. Okay? So always remember, when you divide, when you solve linear and you divide by the same number in front of x or in front of y, depends what you're solving for. Okay? So that's how you get the swap intercept form. Okay, the next one is find the X intercept and the Y intercept. Now, after I finish with the equations, I'm going to go to WebAssign and show you the graphing part here. So this is how you do this. The X intercept and the Y intercept. So everything is in this formula sheet. It's right here. So the X intercept and the Y intercept you find. Remember I told you, I show you if you have X intercept, if you have a point on the X axis, Y is going to be 0. So what x-intercept and y-intercept means? If you have x-axis and y-axis like this, and you have like a straight line like this. So this is my straight line. Wherever your line crosses the x-axis, this point here is the x-intercept. And this point here is the y-intercept. Always. Wherever the line crosses the x-axis is x-intercept. The line crosses the y-axis is the y-intercept. Now, because we talk about if you have any point in the x-axis, this point is going to have coordinate number, comma, 0, right? Now, this point on the y-axis, the same way is going to have coordinate 0, comma, number. I'm using the hashtag like a number. Okay? So that means any number. So what that means, if I need to find the x-intercept, the y coordinate is going to be 0. If I want to find the y-intercept, the x coordinate always going to be 0. So that's what you're using to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Everybody understand that? So remember that as a rule. If I want to find number 6, if I want to find the x-intercepts, the first number is always x, the second number is always y. So for x-intercept, the y is going to be 0. I know that. For y-intercept, the x is going to be 0. See, half of the problem is solved already. Okay? Everybody good? Now, how I'm going to find all the numbers? So if I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to follow my equation. They give me the equation of the line. And in that equation, I'm going to replace y with 0 to find the x-intercept. So for x-intercept, I'm following the equation x minus y equals 2. And I'm going to replace y 0. Okay, like that. X minus, I plug it in 0 for y equals 2. And that just gives me x equals 2, right? So my x, the place where you cross the x-axis is going to be at 2, comma 0. Okay? Everybody understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the same idea if I want to find the y-intercept. For the y-intercept, I know the x is going to be 0, right? So I'm going to follow the same equation, and I'm going to put 0 for x minus y equals 2. And plug it in 0, right? Which means I have negative y, negative 1y equals 2, right? What you're doing to get positive y, 1y. I'm going to divide by negative 1. And that will give me y equals what? 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. So that's the y. That's where you cross the y-axis. You cross
Dirty,
the
I'm
y-axis,
working.
it's negative 2. Okay? Any questions?
I'm working. In a little bit. In a little bit of play with you.
Sandra, I can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was my
It's
cat.
okay. It's
Sorry.
okay. Okay, so you guys have any questions? Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Yes? So finding the x-intercept, you put in 0 for y. Finding the y-intercept, you're replacing x with 0. Okay? So now let's go ahead and do number 7. We have to graph this equation, and this is how you graph it. First, you're going to solve this equation. You're going to do the parentheses and simplify. So I'm going to multiply first. 4 times x, 4 times y. So I'm going to get 5 plus 4y equals 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times y is 4y. And then I'm going to get y by itself. So I'm going to subtract 4y on both sides. They cancel in both sides, right? So the equation is actually left with only x. So I have 5 equals 4x. So the equation doesn't have x and y, have only x. So I need to see what is x equals, right? I'm going to divide by 4. And I'm going to get x equals 5 over 4. 5 over 4 is what? 1.25, right? Right?
Yep.
So this, what that means, x equals number. What type of line is that? X equals number. What is it? It's a vertical line, right?
Exactly.
It's going to be like this, vertical line. Okay, how you graph it? This is how you graph it. And I'll show you that in WebAssign in a minute also. So how you graph it? You're going to click on this. This is how the WebAssign graph looks like. You're going to click on this. When you click on this, it's going to open. It's going to have this. And then it's going to have error like this. And it's going to have a segment also. So with these two, you can graph all these three things. But you're going to pick this one, the first one. Because the line is going to go all the way to the up and all the way down. So it has to be like that. They're going to pick at the first one. And then x is 1.25. So I'm going to click at 1.25 here. And then another point up or down at 1.25. So when you click at 2 points on top of each other, it's going to, WebAssign is going to draw the vertical line going through those 2 points. Okay? And I'm going to show you how that works in WebAssign. Okay, so here's WebAssign. And now if it says graph a point, you just have to graph that point. So this is how you graph it. You're going to click at the point now. Because you're not graphing a line, you're graphing a point. And then you're going to go x is -9 and y is 5. So this is going to be, let me see, this is going to be the point. -9 and 5, and you just click there. Okay? So you click at that point. Now, if it's not exactly the same point you want to click, so let's say I click in different place. It's not negative, it's -8 and 6, right? So you're going to click at the point, it should be 0.1 here, because I delete 1, it's 0.1. And you're going to come here and fix it. So -9 and 5. So you can just change the coordinates. And that's going to be my point, okay? That's how you graph it. Which quadrant is this point? So this point is which quadrant? First, second, third, fourth. Which one?
2.
2, quadrant 2. So you're going to click at quadrant 2. Let's do one more. So we're going to grab this point. If it's point, you click at the point, and then you click 0, 9. X is 0, Y is 9. Is it on the X-axis or in the Y-axis? Let's say you click
Y-axis.
The
on the
Y.
Y, that's right. So let's say you click somewhere else. You can click here, point, and you're going to fix the coordinates. 0 and 9. You can fix it like that. And then when you close it, it's going to grab the point, 0, 9, this point, okay? Now, which way is the point? It's in the Y-axis, right? So we're going to click at the Y-axis. So that's how you graph points. You click at the point down here, and then you graph it. Now, let me show you how to graph equation. You have all these equations. You have to pick one. X intercept, Y intercept, you graph it, all of this graphing. Let me show you all of this one. I'm just going to show you one of those. Okay. So let's do X intercept, Y intercept. Let's do this one. So we're going to graph this equation, but before I graph, I need to get Y by itself, right? So for number 8, what you're doing to get Y by itself? You're going to add 2x in both sides, right? So first you're going to get Y equals, it's going to be 2x plus 6. Everybody understand why it's like that? Because I have Y minus 2x equals 6. I'm gonna add 2x first. And this cancels, so I'm gonna get y equals. You can do 6 plus 2x, oops, or you can do 2x plus 6, doesn't matter. So I just put it 2x plus 6. Now, how you gonna graph the line? You're gonna click here first because that's the line, and then you need 2 points to click. Now, how you gonna do that? You can just pick any 2 points for x and find the y, because you need 2 points. So with the equation, I can pick, so I'm gonna have coordinates x and y. I can pick 0 for x and 1 for x, any 2 points. And then I'm gonna follow the equation, y equals 2x plus 6. So this is the equation. Now, when I replace x with 0, I'm gonna get y equals 2 times 0 plus 6. What is that? 0 plus 6 is 6. So when x is 0, y is 6, right? Then I'm gonna, you can pick any 2 numbers, but 0 and 1 are good numbers. And also x and y you get have to be between -10 and +10. That's the scale. If you get bigger numbers outside of the scale, WebAssign is gonna say it's wrong. So you have to pick small numbers. Now I'm picking 1, so I'm gonna replace x with 1. So it's gonna be y equals 2 times 1 plus 6. What is that? 2 plus 6 is 8, right? So these are the 2 points I'm gonna use to graph. 1, 8 and 0, 6. Everybody get that? So how you graph it? You're gonna click on the graph here. See there are 3 options. I told you about the 3 options. So you're gonna pick, you're gonna pick the first one. Okay? And then I'm gonna click at 0, 6 at these 2 points. And 1 and 8. Click at those 2 points. And we get the straight, see that blue straight line? So the points are 0, 6, and 1, 8. Let me clean this so I can show you. So 0, 6, and 1, 8. Now, if you click somewhere else, you can click at line 1, and it's going to give you the point 1 is 0, 6, point 2 is 1, and 8. And if it's wrong, you can come and fix it, all these points. Okay? Everybody get that? And then when you click here, it's going to graph it. It have to be a black line like this. Any questions how to graph it?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So when you go back to where you used x as 0 and 1, do you
Yes.
have to use x as 0 or 1, or you can use as long as the numbers are between -10 and 10, whatever is on the graph?
Yes, you can
How
use any points, but I'm just giving you 0 and 1 as good points to use.
So I can use like 7 and 6 as x, and then just
No, it's gonna be too big for this one. If you use x is 7, yes. So let me explain. Okay, thank you for asking that. So let's say I'm using x is 7. Hold on. So I'm gonna, x is 7 and 8, you say?
that was just an example. Like, yes.
Yes. So let's just take this example. X is 7, x is 8. So when I replace x with 7 in my equation, I'm gonna get y equals 2 times 7 plus 6, which is 14 plus 6 is gonna be 20. So y is gonna be 20. Now, x and y, both of those have to be between -10 and 10. You're outside of this range. Okay, so all these 4 numbers, this number and this number and this number and this number have to be between -10 and +10. See, 20 is too big. WebAssign is gonna say it's wrong because you can't click at 20. It's only from 10 to -10. Make sense?
Yeah, it does. So I just have to pick the minimum number so it doesn't cross
Yes.
10 and -10.
That's right. Yes.
Thank
So
you.
x and y, both of those coordinates have to be between -10 and 10. So the best points to pick for X is 0, 1, or 0 and -1. Always pick 0 because 0 is going to give you the smallest point. So 0 and +1 or 0 and -1. You can pick -1 for X too. You can pick -1 also. Got it? Okay. So that's how you graph. Any other question? That was a good question. Anybody else have questions? No? Do you guys want another graph or are you good?
I do one more.
Let's do one with X intercept and Y intercept. So let's do this. Okay, so we have the equation is X minus Y equals 5, and you need to find X intercept and Y intercept. So here we have one box for both of those. So I'm gonna write for X intercept, the second number is 0. For Y intercept, the first number is gonna be 0, right? So we're gonna plug it in 0 for X and 0 for Y. So if I wanna find the X intercept, I'm gonna follow the equation and I'm gonna put 0 for Y, right? I'm replacing Y with 0. So that gives me X is 5, right? So my first point is 5 and 0, okay? And then for the Y intercept, I'm gonna replace X with 0. I have 0 minus Y equals 5. I'm following the same equation here. And we have -1, Y equals 5. I need to divide by -1. And I'm going to get Y equals 5 divided by -1 is -5. So it's going to be 0 and -5. Okay? So these are the points. I'm going to put the points. 5, 0. And the other one is 0, -5. Okay? Any questions how we get the 2 points, X intercept, Y intercept? Okay? And then using those 2 points, I'm going to graph it. So I'm going to click on the straight line. You pick the first choice. If you pick the you pick the first one. If the second one is vector, the third one is a segment. We're not graphing those, we're graphing a line. We're clicking the first one. Then I need to click at 5 and 0. So X is 5, Y 0. That's X intercept. The point is in the X axis, right? And the other one is 0 and -5 is down here, right? Because I click at the right point, I can just click one more time here to graph it. Or you can click at the line 1 and check the points and click back again. Doesn't matter how you do it. Okay? And that's my graph. Any questions? Okay, the next one is the same way. And then here you have X equals number. X equals number is just clicking at the line. And X is -9, so we're going to go at -9 in the X. And then you can, it's a vertical, so it's going to be a little up. Doesn't matter which point. It has to be a vertical, right? And that's it. And click one more time to graph it. Okay? That's how you do 12. And 13 is the same way. You're going to get Y by itself, and then you're going to graph it. This one, you're going to solve it, and you're going to pick which one is the right one. Okay? So the same way you're doing all the graphs. Any questions? Okay, so we're going to continue with slope and distance between 2 points. So here the number 8 is the next one. It's asking you find the distance between 2 points. We have point P, point Q. We have coordinates of those 2 points given. P has coordinates 4, 5. Q has coordinates 11, 29. How are we going to find the distance? It's a formula for that. See, this is the distance between 2 points. And we have point P, we have point Q, and this is the formula we're going to use. Okay? And how you use the formula, you're just going to plug the numbers there. Now, what the distance between 2 points means? We have 2 points given. We have this point P, this point Q, 2 points. And when you connect it with straight line, that's the distance between them. So this is the distance, okay? And we're just gonna plug the number, the coordinates into the formula. Now, for these coordinates, you see you have x1, y1, x2, y2. So remember, P has always coordinates x and y. Q also have always, the first number is x, the second number always y. Now, because there are two coordinates, 2 points, that's why you have this 1 and 1, 2 and 2, okay? And it's always like that. And I put it here so you can kind of remember, look at it, how the numbers go. So before I start copying the formula, I'm going to go here and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the P has x and y. Q has coordinates x and y. And then I'm going to put the 1 and the 2's. Now, it doesn't matter which point you're going to pick to be the first one. Let's say P is the first, so it's going to have 1 and 1. Q is the second, it's going to have 2 and 2. If you do it backwards, it's still going to be the same answer. Okay? So this is how you name each number. So 4 is going to be x1. 5 is going to be y1. Okay? 11 is x2. 29 is going to be y2. Okay? And then I'm going to get that formula. I'm going to copy this formula. And I'm going to just copy and paste so you can have it. And I'm going to put the formula here. And I can just follow that formula. Okay? So how are you going to find the distance? We're just going to plug those numbers into the formula, nothing else. So my distance between the point P and Q is going to be square root. And then you put parentheses. X1, what is X1? 4. Minus, what is X2? What is the number for X2? Are you guys with me?
11.
11. That's right. And parentheses square plus, what is Y1? What is the number for Y1?
5,
5 minus, what is Y2?
29.
Thank you, 29. Parentheses square. Now, all of these have to be inside the square root. So when you put it in the calculator, don't get out of the square root, okay? Now, you can just put it exactly the way it is in Symbol app. Or you can put it in your calculator, in your actual calculator from school. So this is what you're doing in Symbol app. I'm going to show you here. So you're going to click at square root, and then you do parentheses. 4 minus, what was that? 4 minus 11. Close the parentheses, and then you click X squared. It's going to give you square. Now, don't do this. Don't get out. Because if you click at the error, it's going to get out. So I need to go back in. Plus parentheses. What was the other one? 5 minus 29. 5 minus 29. Close the parentheses, and then you click square, X squared. So you have to look exactly like that. See, the line has to continue all the way to the top, to the end. And then when you press enter, it's going to simplify for you, and you're going to give you the answer is 25. So the distance is 25. Okay, any questions?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Yes, or just follow the formula. Okay? So that's how you find the distance. Make sure you use the distance formula. The next one is number 9, and it's a application word problem. And here you're going to see why you need to use the formula, right? When you use the equation of line. So you have a car is purchased for $28,130. It's expected to depreciate according to the formula. So this is the formula of depreciation, where f of x, this is notation of function. F of x is the same like y. So look at this like y equals, instead of f of x, you can look at it like y equals number x plus number, right? So it's like equation of line. So the y is the value of the car and x is the years after x years. Okay? And the question is, after how many years? So that means what is x? Because x is years. So after how many years the car will be worthless? What that means? That means the value of the car is 0, right? So that means y is 0. Everybody understanding that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So technically you have to solve this equation equals 0. So you're actually finding what? The x-intercept and the y-intercept. What is it when the y is 0? If y is 0, what you finding? Is it x-intercept or y-intercept?
X intercept.
Yes, that's right, x-intercept. You're going to find the x-intercept actually of the line because it's a linear equation. So we need to solve actually the equation. I'm going to copy that. 0 equals negative 1940x plus 28,130. And how you solve that? How you solve this linear equation? You're going to move the x in the same side, right? So I'm going to move x over. I'm going to add 1940x. So we're solving equation again like what we did last week. And you're going to get 1940x equals 28,130. And then what you're doing to get x by itself?
Divide both sides by 1940.
Yes, that's right. Good job. Dividing both sides by 1940, yes. So when you divide, you're going to get x equals, and here you just have to solve it. You just divide this. I'm going to use my cell phone. So you need to divide 28,130. Going to divide by 1940, and what you get? I get 14.5 years. Okay? And that's what you're going to put in the box here. You're going to put 14.5. Okay? Any questions? No? Okay. Now the next question, number 10, is they're asking the slope of which line is 0. So let me explain what is slope. So slope is the angle, how the line looks like, where the angle is, how the line looks like. So the slope is right here. Can you see it? So what is the slope? The slope is how the line looks like. So if I have a straight line, the slope is rise over run. That's the definition of the slope technically. Is the ratio rise over run. What that means? If I have you have x-axis, y-axis. So if I have line looks like this is my straight line. So from point to point, this is point from this point on this line. If I need to go from here to here, I need to go how many steps up and how many steps over. So this ratio, the distance in x, the changes in x over so this is the rise. And the changes in y is the run. So rise over run is going to give me the slope. So slope is just a number which tells me if the line is increasing or is it decreasing or is it horizontal or vertical. So these are 4 different lines. So looking at this line, when you look at left to right, is it going up or going down? Always look at left to right. The green line I have, is it increasing or decreasing? Is it going up or going down?
Yeah, it's increasing.
Increasing.
Increasing, that's right. So this line is increasing. Increase, going up, left to right. Now, if I look at this line over here, we have over here this one, straight line. Left to right is gonna go down, right? When you look left to right. So this is the example of decreasing line, okay? So this is how increasing and decreasing looks like. So if you have, and everything is right here. So if you have M is the number for the slope. So if the slope is bigger than 0, positive slope, we have increasing line. So if the line is like this going up, M is the number for the slope, it's positive number. So if you have positive slope, increasing line. If you have decreasing, M is going to be a negative number. The slope is 0 when you have a horizontal line, which is like this. And DNE means undefined, does not exist. This is also called undefined. It's a vertical. Vertical looks like this. Okay? So all the different lines, they're in this formula sheet. So if you forget what is what, you can just come and look here. So slope, it's a number which tells me if it's increasing, decreasing, horizontal, vertical line. Depends what type of number I have. Okay? And this is the formula how to calculate the slope. The M equals, the same way like distance, there is a formula for the slope. Y2 the same way. You have 2 points. You're going to plug the numbers. We're going to do that in a minute. Okay? So this is the formula to find the slope. This here above is the formula to find the distance. And for both of those formula, you have point P, point Q, and you have x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? We're going to do that in a minute. So everybody understand if you have positive slope, you have increasing line. If you have negative slope, decreasing. The slope is 0 for horizontal, and the slope is undefined or doesn't exist for vertical line. Okay? And let's look at the example they asked. The slope of which line is 0? What was the line for slope 0?
Horizontal.
Horizontal line, yes. So we're going to pick the answer for horizontal. We have horizontal, perpendicular, parallel, all this. So it's a horizontal. Everybody understand that?
Makes sense.
Okay, and if you forget what is what, it's in the formula sheet. So look at that. So we're going to continue at number 11 and 12. We have to find the slope given the 2 points. So here we're going to use the formula. So when you have when you have two, I'm going to copy this formula, and I'm going to use it on my examples. So we're just going to follow this formula, and you're going to okay, I'm not going to okay. So how are you going to use the formula? First, you're going to name each number. So you have x1, y1, x2, y2, yes? So we're going to start with the P has coordinates x and y. You have coordinates also x and y. And you can pick any number, any point to be the first one. So let's say I have x1 and y1, x2 and y2. And then you're going to follow this formula. So we have the slope equals y2. What is y2? 16 minus y1. What is y1? 2. So I have this minus this, the difference in y over the difference in x. So it's going to be x2, which is 5 minus 2. Everybody understand that?
Yep.
Okay. So plug it in this, you can just simplify it. 16 minus 2 is what? 14 over 5 minus 2 is 3. So my slope is 14 over 3, so that's what you're going to put here. Now, what type of line is this? Increasing, decreasing, horizontal, or vertical? If it's positive slope,
Increasing.
that's right, increasing. Okay, they're not asking, but I'm just gonna kind of asking you to connect the dots, okay? And let's do it again. For number 12, you need to do this again. So we have, again, 2 points, and you have to use the same formula. We're gonna start again with x and y, and you're gonna do x1, y1, x2, y2. And the formula is y2 minus y1, which is going to be 11 minus 11, right? Over x2 is 11 also, minus 2. What is that? 11 minus 11 is 0, over 11 minus 2 is 9. What is 0 divided by 9?
0.
0. So the slope is 0. What type of line is that?
Undefined.
Horizontal.
Horizontal, yes. Now, the slope is horizontal when the slope is 0. And you're going to get slope 0 if you get 0 over number give you slope 0. Any number. 0 over number is 0. Now, if you get number over 0, then that's going to be undefined. Okay? So if the 0 was in the bottom, when I plug it into the formula, if I get not 0 over 9, if I get 9 over 0, then it's going to be undefined slope. Got it? Okay, any questions? So if the slope is 0, we have horizontal. So this is, I'm going to write it horizontal. Okay? Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Okay, now let's look at number 13. So number 13, we need to find the slope. Here they don't give us 2 points, so we're not going to use the formula to find the slope. They give me the equation. So from the equation, we need to find the slope. Now, an equation of line has a slope. If you have it in slope-intercept form, the number in front of x is called the slope. Keep that in mind, okay? And also, if it's horizontal or vertical, also you can find the slope. If it's horizontal, so for horizontal, what is the slope? 0, right?
Yes.
And if it's vertical, what is the slope? Undefined, right?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see what we have. For number 13, the equation is x minus 6 equals 0. So I can add 6 in both sides, and I'm going to get x equals 6, right? X equals number, what type of line is that? Let's look at the formula sheet. X equals number.
Vertical line.
Vertical line.
It's a vertical. What is the slope for vertical?
Undefined.
Yes, so you don't do anything, just look at the formula sheet. So x equals 6 is like given equation. This is vertical line. And the slope of the vertical line is undefined. Okay? And that's what you're going to put here. You're just going to type it in undefined. Okay? Make sure you spell it correct. Because if you misspell, it's going to say it's wrong. Okay? So that's how you do number 13. Any questions? Okay? Then you're going to go to number 14. Number 14, they say find 2 points. and they give you the x coordinate. So we're going to do the same way we did the one before when you graph it. They give me, the first number is always x, right? The second number is always y for the 2 points. So they already give me x is what? X is 0, and I need to follow this equation to find y. So if I want to find this y here, the first point is going to be y equals 6. I'm going to put x minus 8. What is x? They give me x is 0, right? And 6 times 0 is 0, so I'm going to get negative 8. So the y coordinate for the first point is going to be minus 8. Okay? Then I'm going to do the second point. The second point, I'm going to replace, follow the same equation, and I'm going to plug it in the place of x, I'm going to plug it in 1. Okay? I'm replacing x with 1. So what is that? 6 times 1 is 6. Minus 8 is going to be negative 2. So that's how I get the second coordinate here, negative 2. Everybody understand how I get the 2 points?
Yep.
Okay, now when you have 2 points, can you find the slope?
Yes.
How?
Dividing the rise over the run, right?
Yes, you can use the formula rise over run. Yes, you can do that. And also, because the equation is given, y equals, the formula for equation of line here, let me show you one more time. Y equals mx plus, oh, sorry. You see that? Actually, I can do that here. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, and m is the slope. The number in front of x is the slope. Okay, and
Right.
b is the y-intercept. The number by itself is where you're crossing the y-axis. So I can just use that equation given, and the number in front of x is going to be the slope. So I don't need to use the formula. I can just look at the equation and say the slope is 6. Okay, everybody see that? So it's a shortcut. You can just look at the number in front of x. That's my slope. Or you can use the formula. And I can show you the formula. You're going to say you're going to get 6 also. So let's use the formula also. So I have y. Okay, let me name first this. So we have the first point is x1. Let's say x1, y1. And this is x2 and y2. Okay? I don't know why it's moving. X2, y2. So we're going to plug it in m equals. We have y2 minus y1. So it's going to be negative 2 minus negative 8 over x2 is 1 minus 0, right? So we have in the top negative 2, negative and negative is positive. So negative 2 plus 8 over 1 minus 0 is 1. Now 8 minus 2 is 6 over 1 is just 6. So we're going to get the same. But it's kind of, you don't need to use the formula. You can just look at the number in front of x and that's your slope. Okay? Everybody get that? Any questions? Okay, let's look at number 15. They give me a graph and they're asking what is the slope? Is it positive, negative, 0, or undefined? So the red one is the line. What type of line is that? Increasing, decreasing, horizontal, or vertical line?
Increasing.
It's increasing line. So increasing line, what kind of slope have?
Positive.
Positive slope, yes. So that's my answer. It's a positive. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, then you go into number 16. We have some applications here. And I'm actually going to move that a little down so I can. Okay, so 16. So we're doing 16. Okay, we have the price of computers has been dropping for the past 10 years. If a desktop computer cost 6,200 10 years ago, and the same computing power cost 2,100 4 years ago, find the rate of decrease per year. And you have to round to the nearest 10. So what that means, rate of change, rate of increase, rate of decrease, it's always the swap. Okay, so the rate is always means the swap. So the question here is, what is the swap if you have given the price and the years? So here we have like coordinates of 2 points. You have x is represented in years and y is represented with value of the computer, right? The cost, I'm going to put cost, which is dollar amount, yes? So you have like a coordinates of 2 points. What year, what is the cost? So we're going to have 2 points given here. So the first point is going to be, I'm going to use, the first point is, it says 10 years ago, right? So that means x is negative 10 because it's 10 years ago. The price is 6,200. That's the cost, right? So the x is negative 10, the y is 6,200. Then the second one, the second point given is going to be, the price is 2,100 4 years ago. So what is x? Negative 4, right? Okay. So these are the 2 points given in this word problem. So we have given the years, 2 years, and you have given 2 prices. So how are you gonna solve this? We're just gonna find the swap, which I have. Oh, this is 60, not 70. Is that right? Yes. Okay, so now how are you gonna find the swap? I'm gonna use the swap formula, right? Everybody understand what I'm doing? I have 2 points, so I have point P, point Q, yes?
Yes.
We have x1, y1, and then x2, y2. You're going to use those 2 points, and you're going to use the swap formula, right? Overrun. So the formula is y2 minus y1. So it's going to be 21 hundredths minus 62 hundredths over x2 minus negative 10. And you're going to simplify this. Now, if you have bigger numbers, you can always use symbol up. So you can just put it here like a fraction. You're going to click at the fraction. And you put 2100 minus 60,200 over negative 4 minus negative 10. You can just put it exactly the way it is. And it's going to give you the swap, which is, we're going to use the fraction. Well, let's see what it says. Round to the nearest cent. So we're going to round to decimal. So it says negative 683.33. Okay, what that means? That means the rate is negative $683.33. What that means? That means every year the computer price for this specific computer power computers, PC computer, is gonna drop every year. The price is gonna drop with $683.33 because it's a negative swap. So that means the line is decreasing, and in this case, the price is going down. Yes? And that's every year. That's the rate of decrease per year. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Any questions? Okay, then you're gonna go and do number 17. Number 17, it says, use the slope-intercept form to write the equation. So here we're gonna find the equation, and what is important for all these following few questions, you need to get the equation, you need to read carefully how they want the answer. See here, write the equation in slope-intercept form. The next one says write the answer in standard form. The next one is also in standard form. So you need to see how they want the answer. Because in the formula sheet, you see there is a slope-intercept form and standard form. So there's a different equations. Okay? So how you gonna do that? We're gonna start with number 17. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. This is the formula, right? This is exactly slope-intercept. Standard form is, I didn't, or it's something moved or no. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. This is standard form. So standard form means x and y in the same side, and it's equal number. Slope-intercept means y is by itself, okay? So for number 17, they want me to use this formula, and they give me m, they give me b. So what I'm doing, I'm just plugging in the numbers. M is 6, b is negative 6. So we're just gonna rewrite the equation. If they ask you to find the equation always have x, y, and numbers. So the equation is y equals 6x plus minus 6 is minus 6. Everybody get that?
Yes.
That's my answer. So just replace x with m with 6 and b with negative 6, and you keep it x and y. Okay? So now let's go ahead and do number 18. Number 18, you need to write the equation again, but we need to get standard form. So we're going to start with the equation. We have given the slope, and we don't have the y-intercept, but you have a point which have coordinate x and y. This is given. So let's start with the formula. Y equals mx plus b. So what you have given, you have the slope, which is negative 3, right? But we don't know the b. We don't know this. How are we going to find it? We can use x and y from the point. So x is 3. I'm going to plug it in 3 for x. And y is 5. So if I plug those numbers, I'm going to find b. See, I'm using this equation, plug it in x, y, and m. And I can solve for b. How are you going to solve? We have solving equation. 5 equals negative 3 times 3 is negative 9 plus b. What you doing to get b by itself?
I have a question.
Yes?
Are we using the standard form formula or the slope-intercept formula?
Yes, thank you for asking that. We're starting with slope-intercept because the standard has A and B and C, we don't know what they are. You start with slope-intercept because you have given the slope. You start with this, and then after you find the equation, you can go to standard form. Okay?
Oh,
So you start from the slope-intercept because you have given the slope. Okay, so can you guys tell me how to get B by itself now? What you're doing, 5 equals negative 9 plus b. What you're doing to get b by itself? How are you going to find b? Somebody? Anybody?
You adding the 9 to both sides?
Yes, you're going to add 9 in both sides. Yes, thank you. We're going to add 9 in both sides to get b by itself. 9 and 9 cancel, so what you get, b equals?
14 equals
14, right?
b.
Now, after you have b, you have the swap, you can get the equation is y equals negative 3x plus 14, right? This is the equation of line, but it's not standard form. They want it in standard form. How you gonna get standard form? You need to move x and y in the same side. So this is swap intercept form, right? And you need to go to standard form. How you do that? You're
By
gonna
moving
move
the
x. Yes, you're gonna add 3x. So if I add 3x in both sides, I'm gonna get 3x plus y equals 14, right? I copy 3x plus y because I can't combine those two. I just copy them, 3x plus y equals 14. And this is my final answer. It's in standard form. The equation is in standard form. Okay? So everybody understand the steps we did? So use the swap and the x and y from the point. You plug it in into the swap intercept form. And then we find b. And after you find b, you have the equation in swap intercept form. And then you move the x next to the y to get the standard form. Everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. So these are the steps to get the swap. From swap intercept, you get the b, and then you get the equation and change it to standard. So swap intercept to standard is when you move the x and y together. From standard to swap intercept is when you get y by itself. So means move the x over and just get y by itself. Okay, then you're gonna go to 19 and 20, which is the same idea, the same way. So we're gonna do the same. So now keep in mind 19, they want the standard form also, and 20, they want the swap intercept form. So we're gonna, oh, that's moving when I write in top. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's start with number 19. Number 19, they give me the swap is undefined. What that means? Let's look at the formula sheet. Do you remember if it's undefined, what type of line it is?
Vertical line.
That's right, it's a vertical line, yes. If it's vertical line, what is the equation for vertical line?
X equals a number.
Let's look at vertical, it's x equals number, yes. So the equation is x equals 8, right? That's the equation. Now, what is 8? How are you gonna find 8? Looking at the point, they give me a point, right? The slope is undefined and the line is passing through this point, right? So looking at this point, what x is? What is
Negative
x?
5.
Yes, absolutely, good job. Negative 5. Because the first number is always x, the second number is always y. So that's my answer, x equals negative 5. So there is nothing, you don't do anything here, just analyze. Undefined swap, give me vertical line, and vertical line has equation x equals number, and you're gonna get that number from the point, okay? Now, if the swap is 0, you're gonna do the same. If the swap is 0, that means you have horizontal line, And the equation of horizontal line is going to be y equals b. And the number b you're going to get from the point, which is going to be -9, right? So you just, when the slope is 0 or if the slope is undefined, you just have to look through the formula sheet and see what type of line, what is the slope, what is the equation. Okay? So that's 19. Any questions on 19? Okay, let's go ahead and do number 20. Number 20, we have to get the equation of line passing through 2 points now. So we don't have given the slope, we have 2 points. So how are you going to find the equation? You're going to start first with finding the slope. So for this one, we're going to get the slope first, and then you're going to find b, and then you're going to get the equation. Okay? So first I'm going to find the slope. And I have 2 points. Remember the slope formula, right? Overrun. So I have x1, y1. Then I have x2, y2. And then plug it in. The formula is y2 minus y1. So it's going to be -7 minus 0 is y1. Then over x2 minus x1, which is 4 is x2 minus 3 is x1. And then you're going to simplify. -7 minus 0 is -7. 4 minus 3 is 1. -7 over 1 is just -7. That's my slope. Everybody so far so good?
Yep.
Okay. So I have the slope. So the equation right now is y equals mx plus b, right? So it's going to be -7x plus b. This is the equation so far. Now, we need to find b the same way we did before. What you're going to use to find b? We need x and y, right? Where are you going to get x and y from?
Are you going to add the 7x to both sides?
No. You need to find the number for b.
Oh, the
We
number
don't
for
need to
b.
get standard form. We need to find b. We need to find the number. What is the number for b? How are you going to find b? Let me show you how we did it right here.
Will it be
Look at number 18. We have the slope. And what you use to find x and y? To find b.
P. So we're using the, are we
We're
using
using one of the points, right? Because in number 20, we have 2 points given, not 1 point. So which point you're going to use?
3?
Doesn't matter. You can use both one of those. You can use P or you can use Q, doesn't matter. So I'm going to use X from P and Y from P. They have to be from the same point. I'm going to use X and Y. I'm going to put X and Y here, and I'm going to find B. Okay? So I'm replacing Y is 0 equals -7, X is 3 plus B. And then we get 0 equals -21 plus B. And then what you're doing to get B by itself?
Adding 21 to both
Yes,
sides.
you're gonna have 21, that's right. And you're gonna get B equals 21. So we have B, we have slope. So my equation is what? Y equals -7x plus 21. Now, they want the answer in slope intercept, and this is slope intercept, right? So that's my answer. Okay? So we're gonna put, let me put the answer. Y equals -7x plus 21. 1. And this one was x equals -5. Okay? Any questions? You don't need to put intervals in the web assignment. I'm putting intervals so you can see the negative better. Okay, any questions so far?
Just learning as I go here.
Okay. We're going to have enough time to practice, and we have one more question to go over. Okay, so here we have number 21. We have given a speed of 1 mile per hour is equal to 88 feet per minute. And of course, 0 miles per hour is 0 feet per minute. Find the equation for converting the speed x mile per hour. So I have x is mile per hour, and the y is feet per minute, right? So this is the data given. So we're going to use the 2 points, and we did something like that in number, let me just remind you, where you find the swap, this one. So you have x is years, y is cost, and you have 2 points given, and you found the swap here, right? So the same idea here in this word problem, the last one, but here they don't ask you to find the rate, they ask you to find the equation. So we have 2 points, we have to find the equation, okay? So what are the 2 points given? So they give me 1 miles per hour, so it's going to be 1. It's 88 feet per minute, right? That's my first point. And the second one is, of course, 0 miles per hour. It's 0 feet per minute. So these are my 2 points, point P and point Q. Okay? Everybody see that? So we have 2 points given from this word problem, and using the same way we did in number 20, you have point P, point Q. You're going to find the swap, you're going to find B, and then you're going to get the equation. Okay? So we're going to do the same steps. So first you're going to find the swap. So we're going to have, we have x1, y1, x2, y2. And you're going to plug it into the swap formula. M equals y2 minus y1, so that's 88 minus 0. I'm sorry, it's backwards, the way it is. Y2 minus y1, so it's 0 minus 88 over x2 minus x1, so it's 0 minus 1. That gives me negative 88 over negative 1. Negative over negative, it's positive 88. So the slope is 88, right? So the equation so far looks like y equals, that's the slope, 88x, plus b. We need to find b. Okay? How are you going to find b? You can use one of the points, p or q. I'm going to use 0 and 0. It's easy to calculate. So y is 0, 88, x is also 0, plus b. So 88 times 0 is 0. So you get b equals 0, right? So m is 88, b is 0. So my answer is y equals 88x plus 0 is just 88x. Okay? Any questions?
Nope.
No? Okay. Now let me show you if I decide to use the other point, 1 and 88, you're going to get the same b. So let's say if I decide to use not 0, 0, I decide to use 1 and 88. So I'm going to have 88 equals, I'm plugging it in here, right? Equals 88 times 1 plus b, right? 88 times 1 is 88, so I have to subtract 88 in both sides. And it's going to be 0 equals B. So I'm going to get the same. Everybody see that? So it doesn't matter if you use the point P or the point Q to find B, you're still going to get the same B. It's 0. Everybody understand that?
I have a question.
Yes.
Would it be wrong to write slope as y equals 88 plus 0? Or you just omit the 0?
88 plus 0.
So we have the equation as y equals 88x. But
Yes.
would it be wrong to write y equals 88x plus 0?
Oh, okay. Yes. No. It should be the same. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can write it with plus 0. Yeah. No problem. Yes. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So this concludes the lecture for week 2. Okay. So here we're going to go back to number 16 to explain something. So on web assign, when you calculate number 16, you have the same question, like the same like number 16. So when you do this, you do it the same way, absolutely the same way we just did it. Now, here, if you notice, we have the slope, it's a negative number, right? Oops. And that's correct. You get a negative number. The slope, it's a negative number, okay? Now, when you put the answer here in WebAssign, because it says find the rate of decrease per year, okay? So here in the question, they know that the rate is decreasing. So in the answer box, you're going to put positive number. I'm going to put that plus here. And you're going to put the 680, the same number, but positive. 683. Oops, sorry. What's happened? Okay, I need to go inside the box. Okay. So you're going to put positive 683.33. So you found the slope is a negative, but in the question they specified that the rate is decrease per year, is decreasing. So the answer should be a positive 683. And I'm going to put positive here inside so clear that it's opposite because they already take care of the negative in the question. Okay? Everybody understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I just wanted to add here for your assignment when you do your assignment and web assign. Okay?